As we continue to focus on the coronavirus pandemic here on Eyewitness News at 9, we're also focusing on your concerns and questions about the virus. Dr. David Schultz with Evansville Primary Care joins me again tonight to answer many of your questions. Dr. Schultz, thanks for being with us this Monday night. First off tonight, there's been a lot of talk over the weekend about the COVID-19 vaccine. President Trump said over the weekend he hopes there's one by the end of the year. Others say it could take longer. How do vaccines like this work?
Well, Brandon, we're hoping also that this vaccine can also be created and then be able to be produced and distributed to people to prevent this infection in the future. But vaccines are very difficult at times to develop. What has to happen is you have to develop part of the RNA or genetic material of the virus, and you have to be able to incorporate it into a medium that can be produced and then inject it into an individual. Once injected into an individual, there are cells in the body that mount an antibody response as if they actually have the infection. And what it detects is the part of the genetic material of the virus that actually causes the infection. So in doing so, additional cells in the bodies are made, and then when a person actually gets exposed to the actual virus, they're able to fight it off because antibodies are already made. Now, the problem with the coronavirus is it's a very difficult virus, first of all, to observe. It's very rapid, it's changing, and there's a lot of steps in its reproductive cycle that we have to identify. So we would love to say we'll have a vaccine by the end of the year, but there's a lot of work that it's going to have to take, and we also, frankly, have to make sure it's safe.
Absolutely. Well, most of us get a flu vaccine every year, but it's not 100% effective. Could the coronavirus vaccine be the same way?
That's certainly a possibility, and the effectiveness of vaccines are often less with the first time a vaccine is manufactured, and for coronavirus, this would be its first. The other thing that's an element with flu vaccines is the effectiveness is also dependent on the herd immunity, and it usually takes 70 to 85% of individuals vaccinated to develop herd immunity. And in a case like that, if a strain were to become resistant, with the majority of people being vaccinated, there would still be seen over a population, a large number of people who would still be immune to the mutated virus or infection.
Now, how do you see this working? Would a vaccine like this be for everyone or mainly for those at high risk?
Well, they're going to look at high-risk individuals first, and the high-risk individuals are those who are immunocompromised, those who have other diseases like diabetes, COPD, and then the elderly individuals, the older senior citizens. And that's because their immune system is not quite as strong as those who are younger. Then they'll also look at healthcare workers, because healthcare workers are around lots of individuals, and the thing that we can do worse is expose needlessly individuals from exposure from healthcare workers.
I also want to ask you that Eastland Mall, some stores there reopened today, as did other retail stores in Indiana. They opened at 50% capacity. Should those shopping still be wearing a mask inside of the stores?
Well, Brandon, it's actually recommended that when they're at Eastland Mall and other stores like that, they should be wearing a mask. And again, the reason is not necessarily so they do not catch anything, but the reason is so you do not pass anything along. So by wearing a mask, you reduce your risk of spreading germs and infections to another individual. And that's important because, as we know with COVID-19, you may be asymptomatic and actually have a light case of it. And those are the individuals who are most dangerous to others because they can pass it to others without knowing they have it.
And speaking of shopping, there's a saying going around, shop with your eyes, not your hands. Obviously, that means don't touch the items that you're looking at. Do you agree with this? And is that something that we should be doing several weeks from now, even several months from now?
Brandon, it's a good practice not to touch items and so forth. It's like when we were kids and we were told don't touch, and that's something that should continue because germs are on our hands, and when they're on our hands, we can pass those germs to other individuals. Viruses like COVID-19 can last up to 2 to 3 days on certain objects, and so if you have COVID-19 and do not realize it, in theory, you could pass it on to another individual by accident by just touching another object.
All right, a lot of great information again for us tonight. Dr. David Schultz with Evansville Primary Care, thanks again for joining us tonight.